I'm so scared. There's only one thing to do at a time like this. Play video games, of course. And totally not break my couch. Totally not break my couch. Totally not. Yeah! No. You broke my couch.
So now you might be wondering what I play when I'm scared. Probably gonna be, an upbeat, bright, happy game that will make you forget about being scared, right? Right? Right?
Nah, I just play some scary video games.
For most of my life, I've loved survival horror. I can't tell you why, I just know that I do. It's so addicting, just forcing yourself to overcome your own fear to beat the level. And I know that it's just a couple of guys in a sound booth hitting some metal sticks together, making some crazy noises, but it still scares me. And that is why survival horror to me is the most pure genre. It evicts emotions that you normally would not feel. I remember being 7 or 8, seeing Resident Evil 2 on the TV, and I just remember thinking the game was gonna fucking kill me. It blew my mind. When you go from Diddy Kong Racing to Resident Evil 2, it's that's a big fucking step. Especially when all the games you've played up until that point are like rare games and Super Mario, and yes, I say Mario instead of Mario. Fucking suck my ass! Pretty much as soon as I saw that damn game, I knew I had to have it. So I did what any 8-year-old would do.
Nothing. What was I supposed to do, yell at my mom?
I'm fucking 8! You think I had money? I didn't even have pubes. If I yelled at my mom, she'd lock me in a dark room until I was emotionally scarred for life. Luckily for me, I had the coolest mom in fucking existence. I love you, Mom! You're fucking awesome! She went out and rented me Resident Evil 2 for the N64. Alright, I know what you're thinking. Resident Evil 2 on the N64? Yeah, it's pretty much how it sounds. But to be fair, the port wasn't that bad, considering the limitations that they had to work with. And you know what? It was more than enough for me to experience the game. It was then and there that I had learned the definition of real horror. I've gotten into fights with friends who claimed I'm dumb because I said I didn't get scared at a horror movie, but a horror game pretty much scared the shit out of me. Anyways, eventually consoles just couldn't satisfy my hunger for scary games anymore. So that's when I moved to the PC. One after another, I made my way through every scary game I could find. Doom 3, Aliens vs Predator 2, well, at least the Marine campaign. Afraid of Monsters, you get the point. I was playing all of them, any horror game I could find, any horror mod, any horror anything. So, fast forward to now. I've pretty much run dry on the horror front. Literally, I got nothing. It's like discovering a new band, running through their entire discography, and then going, well, that was a fun ride. Then it happened. I decided I'd try Googling scariest games. What I then saw blew my mind. I found all these top 10 lists listing games like Call of Duty Zombie Mode and Left 4 Dead and BioShock as the top 10 scariest games of all time. Look, I'm not trying to say people can't be afraid of different things. More power to you. But are you really trying to tell me that BioShock deserves to be on the same list as Silent Hill when it comes to horror games? Oh, wait. Sorry. I meant top 10 horror games worldwide. What these lists say to me is that people aren't being exposed to good horror games. That or they don't even know what they are. I think a horror game should instill fear, but it seems like the modern day horror game is just jump scares. To me, a jump scare is not true fear. It's just, the element of surprise. So now you may be thinking, well, what is your definition of fear then, Barley? Well, how about this? I'll get a fancy British person to read it to you then, you fucking asshole.
This is Barley's definition of fear. Barley's definition of fear is the irrational thinking brought on by the unknown. This has been a reading of Barley's definition of fear.
Thank you, Britain. How the fuck does the Call of Duty Zombie Mode bring on the fear of the unknown? You know what you're getting into, it's not even scary!
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
It's not like I'm blaming the people who made Left 4 Dead or BioShock because they never said it was a horror game. And it's not like I'm blaming the people that made the lists either. I know that everyone's definition of horror may be a bit different, but can you really blame me for getting upset that someone would put BioShock over Silent Hill? It's kind of like if a 12-year-old Call of Duty fanboy made a top 10 FPS list, and it was filled with Call of Duty sequels and Halo games.
Hey yo, what do you think of Halo 4?
So let's flip this around for a second. How can I expect people to play good games if nobody's making them? I mean, in reality, when was the last time a truly scary AAA title came out? Resident Evil started going action. Silent Hill. Yeah, Silent Hill. What happened to the huge amount of scary games that we had? In the 90s, we were flooded with that shit. And most of those games came from Japan. It was like Japan went batshit and was like, oh, hey, PS1, you want some fucking games? All right, cool. Look at this. Look what I got for you. Try this on for size. Yeah, it's gonna rock your fucking socks. They understand the atmosphere. They nail the environments. The sounds are fucking amazing. The writing is just...
He seems to have been bitten by a poisonous snake, but the size of the wound is abnormally large.
It's not just a poisonous snake. It's a monster. Monster. It's a monster. Monster.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. What? Why? I don't want to cut that scene. I love that scene. Oh, so now I gotta cut this. Cut the big meltdown scene. I'm pretty sure the writer's not gonna be too happy about that. It's a brilliantly written piece of humor. Yeah, you producers, what do you know? Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell him. Don't you worry. Goodbye! Hey Bear, they cut your scene. The meltdown one.
Come on, Japan, where the fuck have you been? Don't worry, this is not some glorious Nippon Japan is better argument, because I'm just not like that. Ooh, Andy-chan! Undosuru! Uku!
Fuck am I doing?
So I have a theory, okay? Now, this theory might be kind of stupid, but, you know, fuck you. Fuck you, it's my theory, okay? That's what a theory is. Think about it. Ever since the launch of the 360, the gaming market has really been dominated by the West. And because of this, we've seen a lot less games come from the Sunshine State. Why would they spend all this money on making a cool new original horror game when instead they could just wisely spend their money on their already proven IPs? They've even been outsourcing to Western developers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that other countries in the world don't make good horror games, because that wouldn't make sense. I mean, look at fucking Stalker. That game's terrifying. It's not even a survival horror game. It's like a big sandbox of anxiety.
Mark 1. What the hell?
Wow, wow, look at that. That's a big list of AAA horror titles. Look at them go. Now, you may think that's a lot of games right there, but the sad fact is that most of these games are over 5 years old. The number of AAA horror titles coming out every year gets smaller and smaller. And the number of horror mods and indie games every year gets bigger and bigger. The best horror experiences I've had lately has pretty much been out of indie developers and modders. I mean, look at Amnesia, look at Penumbra, look at Afraid of Monsters, look at Cry of Fear. Look at this mod for Doom. This is a mod for Doom. This is fucking Doom! If anything, survival horror enthusiasts should be given hope by the success of horror mods and indie games. And as much as I hate to admit it, the popularity of recent SCP and Slender standalones will hopefully open up the eyes of some of the bigger publishers to show more interesting, good, genuine, proper survival horror games. So I guess the question is survival horror dead? I would say yes and no. To all the big companies out there, probably yeah. But it seems like we've just seen the beginning of the horror scene with indie developers and modders. Really, we can only just wait and see what happens. And as for Silent Hill and Resident Evil, well, maybe it's just one of those things that I got to experience that will always be forever held in a spot in my heart. Maybe it's time I put those old games to rest.
How about I don't break my couch next time? How's that for a next one?